Dude. Hey everybody, thanks for that fantastic welcome. And thanks everybody. As you said, I'm Martin Woodward. I'm the Director of Developer Operations here at GitHub, and it's my absolute pleasure to be able to wrap up what's been a truly fantastic day for us all. I've been in since about 4 o'clock this morning. I'm based in the UK here. It's now 7 a.m. live. And so I want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks to the wonderful hosts for keeping us company during the day today, to Anish and Karun on the open source channel, and then Divya and Mohit over on the DevOps channel, rocking some fantastic headwear, I have to say. Sorry, my head's looking particularly bare today, but there we go. And thanks for joining us. We really, really, really do appreciate the time and also the welcome you've given GitHub here in India. When we opened the office just over a year ago, we really, really felt the love of the India developer community. And that's only grown as we've been growing our engineering team in India as well. And that's, despite everything that's been going on over the past 12 months, the challenges we've all had to face, getting used to our new ways of working. So thank you very much for joining us online. And also thank you for sharing your Octocats with us. If people have been heading over to myoctocat.com, sharing their Octocats on social media. So thanks for doing that. I brought some of them in here live that got shared in the past couple of hours. And thanks for joining us over in discussions. I was just over in there this morning. Some great questions, some great discussions happening, and people just saying hi and introducing themselves as well. So thanks to this great and being part of this great GitHub community. It's it's been a real pleasure today. The GitHub India community has really been growing over the past year. As Erica said this morning, 1.8 million developers have joined us in the GitHub community here in India. That's just insane numbers. So thank you very, very much. This is the equivalent to a developer in India creating their first repo every 30 seconds. So while I've been jibber jabbering on, people have been creating repos, and it's every single 30 seconds. And it's not just people using GitHub for work either. It's, as Erica said this morning, India is now the fastest growing open source contributor in the world. So everybody in India has been contributing massively. And the potential for India and Indian developers to positively impact the world is unbelievable, as we saw in the COVID session earlier on, talking about the impact for good there. And also just thanks to all the amazing open source contributions that are making the world a better place. We're proud to host a growing collection of projects that are built in or receiving significant contributions from India. If you visit our Made in India collection on GitHub, you can learn more. That's github.com/collection/Made in India. And if you're a maintainer of a project in India, we'd love to feature your project on this list. So if you head on over to that address there, and you can send a pull request in to add your project into this list today, please do. We'd love to feature you. And you can also tell us about your project in discussions if you want, or if you want to get some feedback or anything else like that. I'd love to listen in. Now, with India, as Erica mentioned, to help support these projects, Erica also announced the GitHub Grants for Open Source, and this is a brand new program that you can learn about in the same discussions repo. You can learn about the program there, and it offers grants for a total sum of 10 million rupees to open source maintainers to support their work as they continue to build world-class software that really makes an impact for India, but across the world. And open source projects based out of India will be able to apply, and we're working with some representatives from academia, from the software industry, as well as from within GitHub to select the grant recipients. I'm really glad that we're launching this program as well. I just can't, I'm really looking forward to seeing the impact that the recipients are able to have with this additional financial support that we're providing. We want to help open source projects get as much visibility as possible, and that's something that I'm very, very, very passionate about. And that's why we use our social channels to try and help promote open source. And we also host a regular release radar, where every month we feature open source projects that have just had a major release, a major milestone. So we love to give these projects a shout out to our audience on social media and let them know, what to check out, what's cool, what's happening. If your favorite open source project has had a major release, then be sure to let us know by tagging it with GH Release Radar or by sending it to GitHub on Twitter. And we've just got this fantastic community, and that's what we've seen today. And that's what, despite us all being remote, despite us all coming from the different locations around the world, it's just fantastic to see this community come together, but especially in India. Over the past year, we've launched a new program, as Erica mentioned, to highlight the fantastic leaders in our communities. We call that the GitHub Stars program. And the GitHub Stars program exists to lift up people who inspire, who educate, who nurture in your communities. You always see these people. They're the people who are always volunteering, always stepping up and really driving communities. They're a fantastic group of people across the world who've been incredibly active in building local communities and helping online and helping others as well. And I'm very pleased to say two of our Indian stars, have been presenting here at Satellite. We had Santosh on earlier, and then Nishkarsh is running a workshop where if you haven't signed up for the workshops, actually, if you want to head on over, the space is quite limited, but remember that all money for the workshops, all the money raised is going to local charities in India as well. And as I say, Nishkarsh is going to be presenting one of those workshops. And if you know someone in your local community, someone in your developer community that's using GitHub to help other developers and help people learn, to help people get better and raise up through the, get better as open source contributors or as developers. And if you think they've got what it takes to be a star, then please visit stars.github.com to nominate them. It's a small, very exclusive group of really some of the most inspirational people in the community that we've got, over 56 million developers. But we are adding new people every week. So let us know who's a star in your eyes. That'd be fantastic. And one of the things that our stars do a lot of is to educate and sort of share their knowledge. And so as we start to open back up over the next year, if you're hosting an in-person meetup around GitHub, then do reach out to us in discussions. We'd love to send you some stickers to hand out, see how else we can help. And remember that we've got our virtual meetup for Indian developers, which streams live, or you can catch replays on YouTube. And that happens, regularly. It's not just Satellite India. We have these regular virtual meetups as well, where you can get in contact with local developers. So be sure to stick around after these virtual meetups, and there's lots of great conversation happening as well. While these streams aim very much at pro developers and open source maintainers, I have to say every stream that I've been in, every single stream, no matter what time zone, has just been full of some of the amazing, passionate people from the education community in India. And we've just been overjoyed of the participation from students and just the hunger there has been to learn. I'm always just completely blown away by the energy and the passion that the students in India have in supporting open source, in using GitHub, and just really participating in the community. It's fantastic to see, and there's obviously such an amazing future coming up through that community. So you can just really feel the passion for hunger and learning as well. It's just amazing. One of the things that's also been great to see is that the faculty, the academic staff in India have been some of the most responsive in the world, actually, in terms of helping their students get the skills for jobs and also learn how to contribute into open source. In the last year alone, we've had more than 100 higher education institutions join GitHub's education programs. And that's been supported by an amazing 74 volunteer campus experts in India in the student body. There are well over 100,000 students now signed up to our educational programs. And with the campus program, students across many of India's higher education institutions have access to GitHub's full product suite throughout their time as students. The student ecosystem is incredibly important to the continued growth and pace of innovation in India. And as I say, it's just such a bright future looking ahead of us there as we look towards that community. And the more we can do to equip them as developers, as innovators, the solution builders of tomorrow, the brighter our future is going to look, which is why we have the GitHub Student Pack. And if you're a student in India and you're not already familiar with it, be sure to check it out. The pack contains over 14 million rupees worth of free software and services to help every student developer. So not just from GitHub, but from partners and other people that we work with. So if you head on over to education.github.com/pack, and you can learn more and learn how to get qualified for the student developer pack. And then when you're starting to get, looking at getting some work experience, this is something my own eldest son's doing right now as he's thinking about going from education into the workforce. Erica also announced the GitHub India externship program this morning, and this builds on top of GitHub's campus experts by offering participating students a unique opportunity to work with some of the leading companies in India and get hands-on development experience outside of the classroom. The program offers 3 months paid externship to open source projects in partnership with tech companies. And in return, these top tech companies get to start building relationships with developers they may want to hire when they graduate, and also help make sure open source is getting the contributions that it needs to be supported. The GitHub India externship program, really helps connect the dots between open source, the next generation of software developers, and successful and growing companies. So definitely check that out if that's of interest. Right, then, so let's look at what's coming up tomorrow. We've got a brilliant day lined up for us tomorrow and loads of great content. Did you know that we've shipped over 100 features to GitHub in the past 6 months? We're shipping features every single day. Tomorrow morning, my boss Shanku will be joining us with a cast of characters from across the entire company and the entire globe and joining you here. And he's going to take us on this demo pack session. I think there's only about 6 minutes of talking. The rest of the time is just all demos, where we're going to go all the way through GitHub, showing you all the latest features, including 1 or 2 brand new features that will get their first exclusive look tomorrow morning for you in the keynote session first thing tomorrow morning. It promises to be a fantastic session, definitely worth tuning in for. And actually, straight after that session, we'll be splitting back into the 2 channels again. And my good friend, he's VP of Software Engineering, Sanjay Mopani. He's going to be joining us from Hyderabad to talk about the work the GitHub engineering team are doing here in India and the work they do and some of the lessons they've learned along the way. And we've other fantastic sessions. Dr. Viral Sar, the co-founder of Julie Computing, is going to be talking. One of my friends, Shashank Basal, is going to be talking about GitHub Actions and apps. And then my good friend Mish Manners will be joining us live from Australia to tell you how to GitHub like a boss. So definitely check that session out. And just like today, the open source track will have a bunch of lightning talks on things like TensorFlow, Kubernetes, MLOps, using GitHub, all that sort of stuff. So definitely check that out. And remember, it promises to be a fantastic day, but you can get started on github.com for free right now. It's free to developers and teams of any size, for private projects as well as for open source projects. So if you're learning to code, if you're contributing to open source, or if you're starting a new private project or startup, you can do that on GitHub for free today. Right. Okay, that's enough for joining me for this quick wrap up. So thanks very much. I hope you enjoy using GitHub as much as we enjoy building it. I'm going to head back over into discussions right now, so you can join us and ask questions in the chat down there. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.